Hello everyone, I'm Ditta from Ditta Reads, and today I'm going to do a video about my quick thoughts about Destroy Me, Unravel Me, and Fracture Me. So that's going to happen in this video. I hope you will enjoy it. So first there will be some non-spoilery talk about the books. And it also doesn't spoiler Shatter Me, so you can watch it even if you haven't read the series at all. So anyway, I will start with Destroy Me. And Destroy Me is the first novella, it's part 1.5. I really like this novella because I finally got to see Warder. Um, it was all from his point of view, it was very interesting. There didn't really happen that much in the story, novella, but I really enjoyed reading from Warner's perspective. Then we have Fracture Me. I mean Unravel Me. And Unravel Me is part 2 in the series. I did really like the book, but I thought the first book was better than the second book. So I hope the third will be as good as the first one or better than this one. But I did really like this one. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So it's quite good, it's quite good. It's not bad or anything. And I still love the writing. And Juliet, the main character, is just amazing. And I did like a lot of the stuff happening in this book, but I did like some of the other stuff, which is very vague, I know, but it's the total non-spoilery part. And then we have Fracture Me. You know, see, Fracture Me. And Fracture Me is part 2.5 in the series. This was from Adam's point of view, and whereas Destroy Me made me like the character of Warner, which was his point of view, more, Destroy Me didn't necessarily make me like Adam more. I think it did kind of the opposite. Not that I now don't like Adam anymore or anything, but it isn't that I might just like him a little bit less, reading from his point of view. But I have to say that Fracture Me could have been like a story on its own. No, not really a story on its own, but it had like more of a story in it, and I really enjoyed that. And there was some important stuff happening in that story that will be important, I think, for the rest of the series, which is one book, but I will call it the rest of the series, even though it's only one book. So this was a very quick, non-spoilery part. So now spoilers for the first book, Shatter Me, start. So if you read Shatter Me, you know that Warner is a super evil person. I thought already when I read the first book that there was something going on. I didn't know what it was, but that there was something about his character that I was missing. I wanted to know more about him, and that's why I really enjoyed Destroy Me. And it is written from Warner's point of view, and it takes place in like the end of Shatter Me and the very beginning of Unravel Me. And I must say that reading from Warner's perspective about what he thinks about Juliet and why he does everything and how his everything is going on, you know, that was really nice. I really like reading from his perspective. I don't necessarily really like him or love him or anything, but I just think he isn't that bad anymore. So yeah, and in Shatter Me, I was really convinced he was totally like a bad guy, but I knew something was going on. So if you're interested in Warner, or you hate him, and are interested in him anyway, you can read Destroy Me, and Destroy Me is just, it gives you more insight in the character, and I really enjoy it. Is it required to read if you want to know everything about a series? I don't think you necessarily need to read it for the story, but it gives you a nice background about Warner, so that's recommended. So then we have Unravel Me, and like I said, if you've read Shatter Me, you know how things were going on, and the end of Shatter Me, you know Juliet was ready to fight at everything, that she wanted to get into everything, she was ready. So in this book, it's kind of what happened. So that's what I can say. I can't really say anything because that would spoiler this one. So that was the end of the non-spoilery part for Unravel Me, and thereby also by Destroy Me. Not that I can think of anything I would say that spoils it, but or by part 2. And if you haven't read part 2, there might be spoilers. So anyway, Unravel Me. What I really like about Unravel Me is how Juliet, you know, she gets stronger, she's training, she gets to know her powers, and I really love reading about that. It was also interesting to know what Adam's powers really were, because it is kind of freaky how can disable other people's powers. It's like kind of a defense mechanism. So Juliet is actually kind of hurting him by touching him, not in a way, You know, she not in the way that she kills people, but she is making him weaker by it. And what also was really interesting is the whole aspect about Adam and Warner, aka Aaron, being brothers, which was kind of disturbing, but also I kind of liked it. But one of the things I didn't like that much necessarily was the love triangle. I don't really think I'm really into love triangles or anything, and it was kind of in the beginning. It was like, oh, okay, you shouldn't have done that for me, but eventually I wasn't really bothered by it or anything. It does kind of make sense on some points, but yeah, it wasn't a big deal breaker or anything because I still really enjoyed the book, but it was a point that I didn't think as it was needed necessarily. So that was that. And at the end of Unravel Me, what I really liked is how Juliet seems to be ready to kick ass. You know, not to be the one trying always to please everybody, but that she can stand up a bit more for herself. And I have to say that these books, they have like these endings where you get really excited for the next part. I mean, the first one ended with that she was ready to go to the resistance, that were ready to fight, you know? And here she is ready to, oh, the fight, I have to talk about it. And at the end of this one, she's ready to know, really stand up for herself and be what she is, you know? And in Unravel Me, I do think the fight, you didn't really get a lot about the fighting. You didn't really know a lot about it, but you did know everything that happened to Juliet, and it was kind of, I don't know, just, it was shocking. I mean, she got shot, but she lives, so I don't know. That was what I was going to tell about Unravel Me. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And the first one I gave 4.5 stars. So I did think the first one was a little bit better, but it was still good. I really enjoyed the series this far. And then to the last novella I've read, it's Fracture Me. Fracture Me is part 2.5, and it's written from Adam's perspective. And if you haven't read it, you should stop watching this video now, because I'm going to talk about it. So stop watching and everything. Okay, so in Fracture Me, we've got Adam's point of view, and in the start I was really excited because Adam was one of the characters I did really like, but somehow reading from his point of views and knowing his thoughts made me like him a little bit less. I do still like James though, and Kenji was really awesome in this part, and why I really like this novella is because we see a lot more about the fight going on, the kind of war, you know. And it was shocking that Omega Point was, you know, boom, blown away. But I was so relieved that James managed to get out of there. And I'm really, really curious how it will go on. Well, because they all think Juliet is dead. Because, I mean, Anderson also thinks Juliet is dead because of everything happening in Fracture Me. So, oh, and in Unravel Me. So yeah, that's exciting. I don't know. I really liked reading that one, and I think that was it about the books. So this was the video about Destroy Me, Unravel Me, and Fracture Me. I hope you liked it. I really recommend the series. But yeah, that were my quick thoughts about these 3 books, novellas, aka what you want to call them. So that was it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like or subscribe to my channel. There will be more videos about me. And I hope you have a great day, enjoy life, and be happy. Goodbye!